They were the shadows of ancient Japan, silent, disciplined, and feared by all. But even the ninja, the masters of stealth and strategy, carried fear in their hearts, not fear of swords, not fear of death. Their fears were far more human yet far more dangerous. A ninja's greatest fear was being seen. Not because they were cowards, but because exposure meant something worse than dying. A ninja who was spotted had already failed. Their mission was ruined, their identity compromised, their clan at risk. For a shinobi, the worst fate was to be caught in the light. Stealth was their armor, invisibility their shield. Once discovered, they weren't a ninja anymore, they were just a target. Imagine slipping into an enemy castle in disguise. Every glance, every footstep, every breath could expose you. A single mistake, a squeak in the floor, a wrong word, an unsteady hand could cost you everything. That constant pressure created a fear sharper than any blade. The next fear was failing the mission. A ninja didn't exist for themselves, they existed for information, infiltration, and intelligence. If a mission was incomplete, the consequences could be catastrophic. A delayed message could lose a battle. A revealed infiltration could spark war. A misinterpreted code could cost hundreds of lives. That's why ninjas were trained to place mission above self. They carried poison not only for assassination, but for suicide. If capture meant exposing secrets, to fail the mission was to fail the clan. And that was a fear deeper than death. But the third fear was the most personal. Ninjas feared losing emotional control. Fear itself was the enemy. Anger clouded judgment. Attachment created hesitation. Revenge brought recklessness. A ninja couldn't afford to panic. They couldn't afford to love too deeply. They couldn't afford to second-guess themselves. That's why they trained meditation, cold water immersion, breath control, and emotional detachment. A ninja's calm was their weapon. If their mind broke, their mission broke. And once the mind slips, the enemy wins. So no, ninjas didn't fear pain. They didn't fear injury. And many didn't even fear death. What they feared was exposure. What they feared was failure. What they feared was losing the one thing that kept them alive, their control. Because a ninja's true battlefield wasn't the castle walls or the forest paths. It was inside the mind. That was where fear lived. And that was where they learned to kill it. Even today, their discipline inspires martial artists, soldiers, and strategists. Their philosophy reminds us that the strongest person isn't the one with the sharpest blade, but the one who controls their emotions under pressure. Fear didn't make ninjas weak, it made them aware, it made them human. And it pushed them to become legends. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. What do you think a modern ninja would fear today? The shadows still whisper, but the truth is ours to uncover.